Hey, what's up, YouTube family? It's your favorite melanated brother from Nebraska. Yes, there's plenty of us here in Nebraska. Today, I'm going to go ahead and do part two of the content that I posted the day before yesterday in regards to the Black monarchy of England and also the Black Danes, Vikings, and the Moors as well. So this is part two of the chapter, and this is more picture evidence that you guys will want to get. Great picture evidence that I might add. Two illustrations of the same Viking coin, minted in England during the 11th century. Upon inspection, one can see the full, thick lips, undoubtedly indicating this Negroid appearance. And then as they go deeper, an illustration of Harold Harefoot, King of the English, 1035 to 1040. An English king of Danish origin, note the full lips. Viking attack on Guerande, 11th century manuscript. Despite an attempt to disfigure their brown complexion, one can still note their full lips and broad nose. The three statues depicting three Scandinavian kings dating back to 1101. The meeting of the three kings at the mouth of Gata River. King Magnus Olafsson of Norway, King Ingi the Elder of Sweden, and Erik Ejegod of Denmark. By the broadness of the nose and the width of the mouth, the appearance of these men is extremely evident. Upon establishing the true racial makeup of the Normans, who were in fact the Vikings or the Danes, just under a different name, we can now proceed to give an analysis on the House of Normandy, who ruled the English monarchy for just over half a century. The first one being William the Conqueror. William I, surnamed the Conqueror, the first of the Norman line of English kings. He was born in 1027, the son of Duke Robert, surname Lee Diable, and of the son of Duke Robert, Arlata, the daughter of a tanner of Falaise. On a visit to England, he procured a promise of the succession from the childless Edward the Confessor. And when Harold, son of the great Edwin of Kent, was shipwrecked soon after on the coast of Normandy, William extorted from him a promise to uphold his title. After Harold had been proclaimed king in 1066, William led an expedition to success, and on the 14th of October 1066 gained the great battle of Senlac, or Hastings, in which Harold was slain. Then proceeding to London, he was crowned king in Westminster Abbey on Christmas Day 1066. William ruled the English with an iron hand. He introduced the curfew bell, a signal at 8 o'clock at night for every fire and light to be extinguished. He died in September 1087 and was buried at Caen in Normandy. His son, William II, succeeded him to the throne after his demise. Insight into his outward appearance is given based on the surname he was given. During that time, it was customary for a person to receive their surname based on their complexion. David McRitchie asserts this in his famous work. But the traces of our Black ancestry are visibly existent in 100 surnames. Some of these denote complexion, others do so, but indirectly. The first class includes a great many. There are the clans Rory, Dubgale, spelt Dubgale, or Black strangers in their own genealogy. There are all varieties of Dub, Black, such as Duff, Dow, Macduff, and others. There are Dons, Cars, and Dargs. With their equivalent Duns, Browns, Grays, and Blacks, all these are color names showing a color of showing a black or tawny ancestor. William II, surnamed Rufus of the Red on the account of his florid and ruddy complexion. William was born in Normandy AD 1057, crowned at Westminster, and reigned 13 years. He never married. He was killed, it is supposed, by accident by Sir Walter Tyrrell whilst hunting in the New Forest. His dead body with an arrow stuck in it was found by Parkes, a charcoal burner, and carried in a cart to Winchester, where it was buried in the cathedral. Ruddy and florid are both descriptive terms which can be used interchangeably, denoting redness. African-American civil rights activist Malcolm X was given the epithet Detroit Red on account of his upbringing in the American city of Detroit and on account of his reddish complexion. The late African-American comedian John Elroy Sanford, better known as Red Fox, was given the epithet Chicago Red for the same reason. Malcolm X on the left with Red Fox on the right. Both these men are seen with ruddiness to their complexion. African Americans who learn more towards a light-skinned complexion have a lot of times been referred to as red-boned, again, signifying the redness of their complexion. So they're making comparison to what was ruddy back in the day to what we call now is red or red bone. This is a really good comparison. The modern consensus among mainstream academia is the ruddy denotes a pale-skinned Caucasian with reddish cheeks or reddish hair, while ruddy might be used almost exclusively to white people of that appearance at this time. Historically, this was not the case. Historically, ruddy in many instances was applied to a black person with a light brown complexion. Ruddy was applied to light-skinned Negroes during the early 20th century. So we're pretty much taking the goalpost and sticking it right back in the ground for those who decide to move the goalpost in what people called black, ruddy, tawny, back then in the 20th, 19th, 18th, 17th centuries. So yeah, that's what we're doing. Two descriptions of ruddy Negroes from an early 20th century American newspaper. Here we go. The evidence revealed that Walter Spouse was seated in the lap of a giant Negro of ruddy complexion. So here we go. Negro of ruddy complexion who was whispering sweet things in her ebony ear. The red nigger in the triangle has disappeared. He is a river Negro, and the police called him as a ruddy Negro, more than 6 feet tall. So red and ruddy, we see that they're describing Negroes and black people when they speak of that. A North American ruddy duck is depicted to the left, with a red Angus cow depicted to the right. Both animals are being shown with a brown complexion with a reddish tinge, hence the usage of the name given to them. When one does further inspection of what ruddy means, it also implies one of a yellow or golden complexion. This is also applicable to a black person with a light brown complexion. Lighter-skinned black people are also known to have been dubbed yellow. Annapolis, Maryland Gazette, United States, published on May 12, 1777. Here we go. Ran away in July last from Miss Aletha Parker near Piscataway in Prince George's County, a Negro man named Nace of a yellow complexion, 35 years of age, about 5 feet 7 or 8 inches high, a thick, well-made fellow. If King William II of England were living today, he would be known as a light-skinned black man. William of Malmesbury, a 12th century English historian, provides an eyewitness account regarding the William II's appearance. He states thus: he was well set, his complexion florid, his hair yellow, open countenance, different colored eyes, varying with certain glittering specks of astonishing strength, though not very tall, and his belly rather projecting. To reiterate, florid is the same as ruddy, denoting red. William's hair was described as yellow by his contemporary. This is the case for some lighter-skinned Negroes. These are two modern contemporary examples. Moving on from King William II, his full-blooded brother, King Henry I, assumed the throne after his demise. Henry I, 1100 to 1135. Surname Beauclerk, or the fine Scholar, born at Selby in Yorkshire AD 1068 and crowned at Westminster. He reigned 35 years. He was the youngest son of the conqueror. He seized on the vacant throne in defiance of the rights of his elder brother Robert, Duke of Normandy, whom he finally defeated and took prisoner at the Battle of Tinchebray in Normandy in 1106. Wishing to please the English, Henry married Matilda, also called Edith, daughter of Malcolm III of Scotland, a princess descended from the royal Saxon line of Alfred. Awesome. His only son, William, perished in the wreck of the White Ship. Henry first died in 1135 in his 67th. It is said from indigestion caused by eating lampreys. He was a politic and clever, but very unscrupulous king. He was a politic and clever. Okay, very unscrupulous king. Two contemporary coins illustrated King Henry II. The main thing one can take away is the full lips. Based off of the illustrations, was conceded that he was a Negro. As to his complexion, one can logically surmise that he was ruddy or somewhat close to that hue, much like his full-blooded brother, William II. King Henry II had an estimated 24 children. Most of them were illegitimate through his various mistresses. One of them was Robert Fitzroy, 1st Earl of Gloucester, also known as Robert Rufus, as a means to imply his ruddy complexion. Much like his uncle William II, another example of a black man being referred to as ruddy is shown below. London Gazette, published July 19, 1694. John Greenwood, mariner, born in Yorkshire, lived lately at Wishbush in King's Lynn, a tall, lean black man, ruddy complexion, aged about 26, short black periwig. King Stephen of Blois, the last of the Norman kings of England, was the son of Adela, a daughter of William the Conqueror. At the death of Henry I in 1135, Stephen usurped the throne of England, raising up against Matilda, daughter and heiress of Henry I. Stephen died at Dover in 1154 in the 50th year of his age, and was buried near his consort in Faversham Abbey, Kent. His reign was most unhappy period of bloodshed for England.